So yeah, there has lately been a lot of controversy surrounding Chris Pratt as Mario in the new Mario movie. And frankly, I feel like if I don't bring this up, nobody will. So when Chris Pratt's Mario voice was first revealed in the teaser trailer, reception was pretty harsh for obvious reasons.
Mushroom Kingdom, here we come!
And not gonna lie, I was, and currently still am, one of the people who absolutely hate Chris Pratt's Mario voice. Strangely, despite that, the amount of fans trying to defend Chris Pratt's Mario voice has surprisingly grown. I can understand why they want to defend Chris Pratt, especially for some of the bogus reasons why he's hated. What I don't understand is why those exact same people, at least 90% of them, pull a complete 180 on Charles Martinet and claim he could never work for the movie.
Charles is great as Mario in little bits for an added comedic effect for the games. Having Charles's high-pitched take on Mario would completely remove any and all seriousness from this film and make those heavy moments more funny than compelling.
Chris Pratt as Mario is actually a good pick, and I am ready to defend it. So for the sake of a better viewing experience, Mario needs to have a much more tame and, I guess, relatable voice, like in the old Mario cartoon.
Have you seen Charles Martinet speak in full sentences before? Have you heard him attempt to do a movie before? A lot of people either don't know this or tend to ignore it, but not only has Charles Martinet actually spoken full complex sentences in his Mario voice before, but he's also capable of giving the Mario voice a casual tone.
And I never look back. It's been 2D and 3D fun ever since then. Of course, I do miss the old pixel days. Yeah. It's always fun to be simple in life, you know? Have simple pixels running around. That's a lot of fun. And the music back there. Remember the music back then? Da-da-da-da-da-da. Yahoo! Oh yeah, that was great. How about that?
As well as a dramatic one. And yes, before you bring it up, I am aware that Mario originally had that Brooklyn accent, and that's what they're leaning towards.
So from what we saw in the trailer, Mario is from New York and fell through a warp pipe to end up in the Mushroom Kingdom. So if he sounds like the average New Yorker, that makes sense with the story.
Problem is, Charles Martinet has been doing the voice for like 25 years now. He's been doing it so long that this exact accent has pretty much become a major part of the character. Like literally, whenever you hear the phrase Super Mario, that exact voice with that exact accent,
It's me, Mario!
is literally the very first thing that comes to the minds of pretty much every single Mario fan. And another counterpoint I'd like to make is, if they're leaning entirely towards the more Brooklyn-style Mario, then they should not have even bothered trying to incorporate any of Charles Martinet's catchphrases.
Alright, let's go.
Literally, they just do not work with a normal voice.
Wahoo!
Also, let's face it, at the end of the day, the only reason Chris Pratt was chosen to be the voice of Mario for this movie was entirely for the sake of just having a big name in the leading role just to draw some attention, which Hollywood really needs to stop doing. I'd like to make this one last thing perfectly clear. I have absolutely nothing against Chris Pratt as a person. Hell, I think he did a pretty good job in both the Lego Movie and as Star-Lord in Guardians of the Galaxy. I just simply think he doesn't work at all as Mario in particular. Now, if you like Chris Pratt's voice as Mario, good for you. I wish I could join you, but I just don't see it. Oh, and another thing. A lot of people have argued that Charles Martinet's Mario voice would be too annoying for a full feature-length film.
But can you imagine having to hear, "It's me, Mario," or "Bowser, you have hurt my brother, how could you?" or "Princess, we have to band together to save the kingdom," over and over and over again for like an hour and a half or however long the movie is?
The real reason he needs to sound like that is that Mario's voice is just a lot. 90 minutes of, "It's me, Mario, wahoo, here we go," would drive any man insane.
Counterpoint, the Mickey Mouse and SpongeBob SquarePants have voices that are actually far, far more insufferable. Especially SpongeBob's constant... And yet they're able to get away with full feature-length films and even entire TV shows with them non-stop flapping their gums without pause. Under their logic, both Mickey and SpongeBob should have been replaced by celebrities with normal-sounding voices by now, but they're still free to lend their obnoxious voices into feature-length films and even dramatic works.
I couldn't find a way to save them. But I wanted to believe that their sacrifice stopped you for good. Why? How was I so blind? I should have seen it as soon as Maleficent started gathering the 7 princesses of heart.
And no amount of mermaid magic or managerial promotion or some other third thing can make me anything more than what I really am inside. A kid.
And yet, nobody complains about that. I don't understand why both Mickey and SpongeBob can get a free pass sounding as obnoxious as can be to very important big feature-length films, but then suddenly give Martinet shit for the very idea of attempting the same thing. Martinet loves voicing Mario. He literally wants to do it until he drops dead. He'll find a way to make it work. Trust me, Charles Martinet is a true voice actor through and through, and the most passionate of voice actors always find a way. In conclusion, once again, I have nothing against the Pratt fans. If you like Chris Pratt's Mario, good for you, but just consider this. I know you're all fighting desperately for people to give Chris Pratt a chance, but in doing so, I'd argue that Charles Martinet is the one not being given a chance. But that's just one man's thoughts. What are yours? Do you agree that Charles Martinet is being denied a big opportunity here? Or do you think I'm just being a whiny little shit and want to burn me at the stake for expressing my opinion? Let me know in the comments below. And thanks for listening to my first ever video essay. Very piss poor quality essay. One more bonus point before we go. Remember Mark Hamill as the Joker? Way back in the days of the early Batman animated series, if I were to tell you his voice would be used for a very dark and very gritty, serious Batman film, you would have thought I was crazy. You would have thought he would have never worked. And yet, he pulled it off flawlessly. If Mark Hamill can do it, why not Charles Martinet? Let's be honest here. Imagine if they got Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson to voice Mickey Mouse using his regular speaking voice. Yeah, you wouldn't be so quick to defend him then, would you? Who am I kidding? You probably would.